Hello students, in this video lesson we will be revising the chapter 6, that is life processes. We will revise this chapter by doing the in-text questions and the exercise questions of this chapter. Now the first exercise of in-text question is on page number 95 and its first question is, why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms like humans? As we all know that multicellular organisms like humans have very big body and require a lot of oxygen to diffuse into body quickly in order to meet the oxygen requirement. Diffusion is a slow process which will take a lot of time to circulate oxygen to all the body cells. Because of its slow nature, diffusion is insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms like human beings. The next question of this exercise is, what criteria do we use to decide whether something is alive? See, walking, breathing, growth and other visible changes can be used to determine whether something is alive or dead. However, some living things will have changes that are not visible to our eye. Hence, presence of life processes is a fundamental criteria to decide whether something is alive or dead. The next question of this exercise is, what are outside raw materials used for by an organism? See, the outside raw material is used by organism for food and oxygen. Raw material requirement varies on the complexity of the organism and the environment it is living in. The last question of this exercise is, what processes would you consider essential for maintaining life? Now the answer to this is very simple. The life processes such as respiration, digestion, excretion, circulation and transportation are essential for maintaining life. Now the next set of in-text questions is on page number 101 and the first question is, what are the differences between autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition? Now we all know that in autotrophic nutrition, organisms prepare their own food and they are not dependent on any other organism, whereas in heterotrophic nutrition, organisms do not prepare their own food and so depend on other organisms for their food. In autotrophic nutrition, food is prepared from carbon dioxide, water and sunlight, whereas in heterotrophic nutrition, food cannot be prepared from carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. In autotrophic nutrition, chlorophyll is required for the preparation of food, whereas in heterotrophic nutrition, chlorophyll is not required for the preparation of food. The green plants and certain bacteria have autotrophic mode of nutrition, whereas all the animals, fungi and most bacteria have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now, the next question of the same exercise is, where do plants get each of the raw materials required for photosynthesis? Now we all know that the plants require carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and nutrients for preparation of their food. They obtain carbon dioxide from the atmosphere through stomata. Water is absorbed by plant roots from the soil. Sunlight is an essential raw material for the photosynthesis which they get from the sun, and the nutrients are obtained by the soil by plant roots. The next question of this exercise is a very important question. The question is, what is the role of the acid in our stomach? Now we all know that the acid present in our stomach is HCl. HCl present in the stomach dissolves food particles and creates an acidic medium. In acidic environment, the protein digesting enzymes pepsinogen is converted into pepsin, and it also acts as protective barrier against many disease-causing germs. Next question of the same exercise is, what is the function of digestive enzymes? We all know that digestive enzymes are the enzymes which will help in digestion. These enzymes break the complex food molecules into simpler ones. This will make the food absorption process easy and effective. Absorbed food is transported to all parts of the body by the blood. The last question of this exercise is, how is the small intestine designed to absorb digested food? Now this is also a very important question. Small intestine has small finger-like projections called villi, which increase the surface volume of the small intestine, which will make absorption more effective. Within the villi, there are numerous blood vessels that absorb digested food and carry it to the bloodstream, through which the food is transported to each part of our body. Now we have 3 more NCERT in-text exercises which we will cover in the next video lesson.